Something a little different I've been wanting to do. We're going to go shopping. Just a few things that we want to look for is that most people look for price. They want the best deal, and stickers like this get your attention. But it's not necessarily the best tent for you. So be sure to look at the specs on every tent. And just because it shows a person standing up, that person is only 4 foot tall. So if you don't want a tent that you have to get on your hands and knees and crawl into, make sure that you find one that's tall enough to suit your needs. And make a plan. Know how many people need to sleep in the area and go from there. Because not many people are going to sleep like the manufacturer suggests. You may have 2 queen beds, but you won't have any place to walk or put your gear. And also you need to check the weather, and you might need to upgrade your stakes. Not all tent stakes are equal. So here we go. We're going to go shopping and we're going to compare and see what we like. We're going to start with Big 5. This is a local shop. Don't have much choice, but when you walk down the aisle, it's kind of overwhelming because you don't know what you're looking for or what you're getting yourself into. Some of them look really compact and some of them are kind of heavy. So the main thing that you need to start with is the specs and the price. Make sure that you look over what you need. See, here's a bigger size, but it's also got a pretty price tag. And then here's some extra stakes that the store offers, just different types. Now we go into the bigger box store, and you talk about overwhelming because the aisle for tents is massive. And they go all the way to the ceiling, just tent after tent. But they're easy to get a hold of, and they're really not a bad quality. Ozark Trail does a really good job at trying to accommodate the needs. But again, not all tents are created equal. So when you find a 7-man tent, don't expect it to fit 7 people unless you want to be sleeping on top of each other. You might want a backpacking tent for 1 person. You might want something a little bigger for 2, which this says 4. So I will recommend maybe half of what the number says. But the prices are maybe $10 difference. So really take some time and look how it's put up, if it's wind tested, and what size it is. So the measurements are always listed on the bottom, right there in the corner. And you can see that even though they're the same color, they have stages of sizes. So this is a small one. It goes to a medium size. And this next one is the larger size. But they're really not that different. The main thing to consider is who's going to be sleeping in it, if you're going to be sitting in it, if you're going to have to put it up by yourself. Of course, the price point is going to have something to do with it. This is a different brand, so it's got a little bit different features. So make sure you take a look at those. The devil's in the details. So make sure that you know what you're getting into because there's a lot to choose from. And for the kids, you know, these are the, oh mom, I gotta have it kind of things. But if you really look at it, the price is more expensive. And it's the same type of tent that we looked at a little bit earlier. Same size. But it's got a cute cartoon. So this is a build-a-tent that I'm showing you now. There are awnings that you can buy. So you can use them just as a pop-up awning. and then you can attach things to them. So this is a little bit smaller one, and this is the awning that the little tent that's coming up next fits. It's going to go side to side, and it's going to fit the height and the width. But you can only really hook up maybe 2 to it. And it's a neat little thing, but it has to have the support to go along with it, the support awning. It cannot be set up by itself. But with that, you can add different pieces to it. So this one actually walks through as one tent. So you have 2 doors, and it's one tent all the way across the back. This type of tent is going to take some kind of weight system, but it has some pretty great accessories. This is a trash can and cup holders that clip onto the legs. This is a divider wall and lighting set that you can buy. And they're all sold separately, so depending on your needs, you can just go crazy. But there are slant leg tents, and they take different accessories, so make sure that you keep an eye on that. And you can always add one of these canopies or tarps to make the seating area a little bit bigger, because you're going to be using part of it for a tent. And if you try to get one of these larger awnings, please note that the tent is not going to fit leg to leg. It will clip on the top, but you're going to have to use some ropes to stretch it out. It will not fit. Or you can buy something like this that is all of the things in one. So you have a 5-in-1 setup. You've got your canopy, you've got your tent, you've got a screen room. It's kind of versatile. You can set it up how you need to set it up as you go. But you're going to have to pay for that. You know, it's going to cost a little bit more, but sometimes, you know, it's worth it. If you go camping twice a year, it's definitely worth it. The ropes that come with it, the guy lines, sometimes need to be replaced, but these ropes are really great for that. And then, you know, you can buy all kinds of little accessories for it. This is a guard, like a water guard, because just assume it's going to leak. Most tents do. And then you have a lot of different, you know, stakes that you can choose from. The tent will come with a set, but if you're in high winds or if you need a little more stabilization, you might look into one of these other stakes. And then you're going to need some kind of lighting for the interior, because when it gets dark, it gets dark. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions, leave me a comment below, hit subscribe, and we will see you next week.